the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Good evening and welcome back once again, race fans, here to the Turn 3 Racing Network. Tonight, Saturday night, short track action under the lights. That's right, here in the Wallbanger Racing Truck Series, S&C Transport 160. These drivers are going to try to tackle this very short, very rough speedway here at Iowa track. Looks to have some speed in it. Only 72 degrees is the track temperature. 69 degrees out there for the air, so a chilly little night here in Iowa. How you doing? How you feeling, race fans? As always, Dark Side Dave in the cave, bringing you all the calls from trackside here tonight from Iowa Speedway. And I tell you what, we've got a little bit of official business to get to here tonight before we get set to head off into qualifying. Want to see if we can't catch in a few words or two with the driver that finished in the third spot last week at Michigan. Brandon Rios, David in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Doing good, my man. How about yourself? How you feeling out there about your truck at this track?
Well, we're a little loose right now. We're trying to make some gains on it. You just got to watch your throttle control coming out of the exit of 4.
Well, we look forward here to tonight's race, but let's talk about last week's race at Michigan. You were able to walk away with the final spot in the in the podium positions. Does that give you any more confidence heading here to a much different track?
Yeah, I feel like it does. You just feel like you get a little bit of momentum, a little bit of self-confidence in yourself. We played a little bit of tire strategy there last week and kind of came away with a better position than I think we had shown all day.
Well, Brandon, I know final few minutes here in happy hour are beginning to close in on us, and you got to focus in on the race setup and the night at hand. How do you think you and your team have prepared for tonight's race, and how do you think it's going to shake out for you tonight?
Well, like I say, I think we have a good baseline set up. In-race adjustments are going to be key. Definitely some tire saving tonight. We're just going to take it slow here at the first stage and see how it works out, and hopefully save a set of tires for the end.
All right, Brandon. Well, once again, congratulations on your third place last week at Michigan. We hope to talk to you a little bit later in the night tonight here. So before we let you go, do you want to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody on the side of that truck?
Yeah, just Dirty Mo Media and Law Speedways, and especially my wife watching the kids while I do this.
All right, my man. Well, good luck and elbows up.
All right, bud. Thanks.
There you have it. Those were some final words here before we head off into qualifying. That's right. You see the graphic on screen. Third place. That's last week's third place driver in that 36 machine, Brandon Reel. We'll see if we can't catch in a few words with a few of the other drivers having some good runs last week. Let's see if we can't catch up with the driver that walked away from Michigan with the race win. That would be the driver in that 2 truck, Craig Burns. It's Dave in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Dave.
Hey, man. Well, first and foremost, thank you for taking a brief moment here before tonight's S&C Transport 160 to talk a little bit about last week's race win at Michigan. Man, what a night it was for you to walk away in victory lane. Does last week's win give you any confidence for this track here tonight, it being such a different track?
Yeah, the confidence is there. It always has to be if you want to run good out here with these guys. Truck feels pretty good. A little loose on the first couple laps, but other than that, I think we got her dialed in, and hopefully we'll go out there and have a good night.
Well, man, walk us through a little bit of the mentality. You last week we were at a much bigger track. Speeds are a lot higher. You're on the brake a lot less, except for coming to pit road. How do you prepare, not just as a driver but as a team, to go to a much smaller track, a track where you're gonna have to be on the brakes in a rough track? Iowa, very known for being rough at the top of the track. How have you and your crew set things up? Are you looking to bottom feed here tonight, or will we see you up there in them bumpy roads?
Yeah, I guess you just have to have a switch to turn on and come to these short tracks here. Throttle control and stuff like that. I think we're going to be riding low in 1 and 2 and then migrate to the top in 3 and 4 later in a run. But, yeah, I guess just have to have the confidence.
All right, my man. Well, with the final few moments and happy hour winding down on us, we'll let you go and get set and switched over into qualifying mode. But, again, congratulations on the win last week at Michigan. And we look forward to talking to you a little bit later here tonight, possibly in another podium finish. So, again, Craig, congratulations on the win last week. And before we let you go, you want to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank everybody on the side of that truck?
Yeah, shout out to everyone at Wallbangers. Steve, Powell, Jordan Westfall, those guys. It was a big week last week for us. Shout out to all the guys in the league. Love running with them. And to you up in the booth, I know you do a good job. And last shout out to my dad. I know he's out there watching.
All right, Craig. Well, again, congratulations on the race win last week. We'll look forward to catching up with you later on tonight. And until then, man, head down, elbows up.
Appreciate it, Dave.
There you have it. Those were some words from last week's race winner, driver of the 2-truck, Craig Burns, sitting third on the speed charts right now here in Happy Hour. As to no one's surprise, Alexander Encarnacio fast on the track once again. Quick time here in Happy Hour, 23:11, belonging to the driver in the 94 truck, Alexander Encarnacio, and it looks like the time will slowly click away for us here in Happy Hour. There you see it, just about 3.5 minutes remaining here in Happy Hour before these truck drivers get set to fire things off for their qualifying attempts in tonight's S&C Transport 160 race number 10 and season number 1 for the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series. And while we do find ourselves with this little brief moment in time, we'll run down a little bit of your official business for you before we head into tonight's S&C Transport 160, your championship standings coming in to tonight's race. There you see it, top of the points chart. Driver in that 94, Alexander Encarnacio, enjoys almost a 25-point advantage over Trevor Massetti. Chad Biesinger right there sitting in third. Craig Burns, Michael Sheffield, Garrett Davis, Steve Crapell, Stephen Baldwin Jr., Brian Fine, and Jordan Westfall round out your top 10 in points. Very tight points battles all the way through your top 10. And some very close battles right there just inside your top 15 as well. Austin Encarnacio battling with Chris Claude. They're tied up in points. Jerry Hutchinson just ahead with 297 points right there, 13th in the point standings coming into tonight's race. And as we come into tonight's race, we are slowly moving towards the halfway mark in season number 1 for the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series. And you got to start wondering who's going to start to assert themselves a little bit. Who's going to go up there and challenge Alexander Encarnacio for some of these race wins. Encarnacio, by far, been to victory lane more than anybody else. Visited victory lane 5 times so far this season. Craig Burns, closest driver to him after last week's race win. Burns was able to pick up his 3rd win on the season. So somebody's going to have to step up and knock it out the park, hit a home run, try to run down your points leader, Alexander Encarnacio, again sitting at the top of the speed charts here in Happy Hour as the final few minutes click off here in Happy Hour. I believe it's somewhere right around the 30-second mark remaining here in Happy Hour. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with all your qualifying action live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Heading back trackside as promised, as a few of these truck drivers jump on in and hit the track up to speed. Jerry Hutchinson in the 12 truck will jump out on board with, or trackside I should say, with that 12 truck. There you see the Gatorade machine crossing the stripe, going to begin his first time lap. Multiple other drivers also out there on track. Justin Hendry, Stephen Baldwin Jr., Jeff Carson, Ryan Azell, Garrett Davis, Michael Sheffield rolling off a pit road now, Bob Williams, and Austin Encarnacio, all on their qualifying attempts. Crossing the stripe, first time lap, gonna go second on the speed charts. Bob Williams up at the top right now. Oh, the 12 gets loose, and Hutchinson gonna have to throw that lap away after pancaking the wall. We'll jump back now with the driver inside that 13 fouled plugs. Oh, and Culver. Oh my goodness, how did he not just pancake that off the wall? That was an absolute wheelman of a move right there. Culver keeping that G.I. Joe Chevy Silverado out of that inside retaining wall. Justin Hendry going to be top of the speed charts, 23:48 for Hendry. Austin Encarnacio second on the speed charts, 23:48. So Hendry just barely edging him out. Garrett Davis as well as Alexander Encarnacio, Brandon Regal also out on their qualifying laps. We'll check in with them here in just a brief moment. And Culver going to go fifth on the speed charts. Let's jump back now with your points leader coming into tonight's race, Austin Encarnacio. Where will that Encarnacio Racing driver put his 94 machine? Looks like ninth on the speed charts for his first time lap, coming around turn number 4. Back to the stripe. Can he snatch the pole away? Yes, he does. Top of the speed charts, 23:16 for Encarnacio, and it looks like nobody else really out there on track. Garrett Davis just kind of hanging out. Slow run back to pit road for the driver inside of that 69 machine, Garrett Davis. Trevor Massetti in the 3. Looks like he's up to speed. We'll jump out there with Massetti on his qualifying attempt here, as we are still just under the halfway point in this 10-minute qualifying session. We have got 13 drivers on the speed charts already, with Burns, Regal, Crapel, and Hall yet to head out to the track. Trevor Massetti on screen. First time lap for Massetti. Oh! Big twitch, and Massetti hard into the outside wall. That's going to put an end to his qualifying attempt, or at least his qualifying attempt for the moment. Looks like Massetti gonna reset, come back out on track. We'll wait to see if Craig Burns, Brandon Regal, Steve Crabell, or David Hall come out on their qualifying laps. We'll check back in with Massetti on track. You should see him come across the screen. There you see that 3 going back across the track. And his first time lap is more than likely going to suffer severely after having those incidents. And oh, the 3 goes around again. 2 spins here in qualifying. Massetti all sorts of out of shape. And that is not what the driver inside that 3 wanted to experience here tonight in qualifying. That is not what the crew chief wanted. Nonetheless, Massetti going to cross the stripe. Let's see where he goes for his time lap. Actually going to shut it on down. So Massetti having 2 spins here in qualifying. Gonna bring it back to the garage. Try to fix a few things. Maybe a tie rod or something may be off on that thing. Snappy loose through the center of the corners. We'll jump out now trackside with the driver that walked away with last week's race win. Let's see how Craig Burns inside that number 2 Ford F-150 gets around the track. There you go. Nice entry into 1 and 2 all over that yellow line. Burns makes his way off of turn number 4. Or turn number 2 down the backstretch into turn number 3. That Milwaukee Ford F-150 looking pretty sweet out there. Burns going to cross the line, go second on the speed charts with his first time lap. Looks like Steve Crapell also jumping out on track loose off of turn number 2. Craig Burns going to collect it, head off back into turn number 3. But that is going to drop the speed on that second time lap. Burns not going to improve on his second time. Gonna stick right there in the second position. And Crapell looks like may have had an electrical issue or some mechanical issue down there. Stopped at the end of pit road. Looks like got it fired back up, and Crapell will head out on track now. So we'll ride with him on his up-to-speed laps here at Iowa Speedway for the S&C Transport 160 here in the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series, live on the Turn 3 Racing Network. What a night in store here tonight. 3 stages tonight. Stage number 1 gonna come to completion at the end of lap number 40. We will see stage number 2 come to a completion at the end of lap number 80. Then a long run to the end of tonight's S&C Transport 160. Steve Crapell, driver inside of that 18 machine, gonna slot in 11th with his first time lap. Big time trouble through the center of 1 and 2. That's gonna put an end to his qualifying attempts. Crapell gonna bring it to a crawl and duck back behind pit wall. That's gonna give us 15 drivers on the qualifying speed charts, and nobody with anything for Alexander Encarnacio. He's going to put that 94 back at the top of the speed charts, walking away with yet another pole position here in season number 1 for the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series. Quick time, pole position, 23:16 for Alexander Encarnacio. And with that being said, race fans, we're going to step away for a brief commercial break, then head trackside for your national anthem. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts, we broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rackets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Bells tolling in the background. We're ready to go green flag racing for the first time here tonight at Iowa Speedway. Walking away with the pole position here tonight, driver inside of that 94 machine, Austin Encarnacio. He'll have Craig Burns just to his outside. Starting inside row number 2, Justin Hendry, Austin Encarnacio just to his outside. Row number 3, Stephen Baldwin Jr. and Michael Sheffield. Row number 4 here tonight, Chris Claude, followed by the 13 of Jerry Culver. Starting in the 9th spot, driver inside that 14 machine out of Florida, Bob Williams. Rounding out your top 10 from Clutch Motorsports, driver inside the 5 truck, Ryan Ezell. Starting inside row number 6, driver of the 18 truck, Steve Corbell. The 12th position goes to the 12 truck of Jerry Hutchinson. Lining up 13th tonight, Chad Biesinger, followed by Jeff Carson. 15th goes to Garrett Davis. Trevor Massetti gonna line up 16th. Rounding out row number 9, David Hill and Brandon Regal. That is your starting lineup for tonight's SNC Transport 160 pace car. Gonna duck off. We're set to go green flag racing for the first time tonight. On the gas, green flag in the air for the SNC Transport 160 here in Wallbangers Racing Truck Series. Season number 1, race number 10. Drivers all over each other here on this initial start of the race. See them fanning out back there around the 4th, 5th position. This is a battle. 3 trucks stacked up through turn 3 and 4. Craig Burns gonna snatch that lead away on the high side on lap number 1. Gotta have to, and caution flag comes out. Caution on the race track. Looking for any sign of anything out there and not seeing anything. We'll see if we can look back, see what may have happened here. Caution flag flying. We'll take a look back, not seeing anything going on. Oh, and there you see it right there. Drivers avoiding the 10 machine. Looks like the 10 got up into the outside wall. I believe that is the 10. Yes, it is. Got up into the outside wall. That's going to bring us under caution for the first time here tonight. So we'll rejoin the field live back at the front with your race leader, Craig Burns, snatching the lead away on lap number 1 here tonight at Iowa. Quick slowdown to the start of tonight's race. One lap in the books before the caution flag flew. Jerry Culver, Chris Claude, Jeff Carson, Brandon Regal, all to pit road. Have to keep our eye on this one, see if these are actually scheduled stops or if they were involved in anything. Looking through the timing and scoring, not seeing any damage reports or incidents on any of those cars that came to pit road, so it looks like most of those are scheduled pit stops. I believe Jeff Carson, Brandon Regal, both of those drivers just topping off on some fuel, gonna use this to their advantage, try to stay out a little bit longer on fuel, maybe cycle through an extra set of tires. By doing so, we'll have to see how all that plays out. All the trucks back on the track. Jerry Culver, last driver to come off of pit road. He'll line back up in the 17th position. David Hall scored off of the track, not able to make the start to tonight's race, so Hall already out tonight. Gonna finish in the 18th spot for the SNC Transport 160. Race number 10 out of 25 in season number 1 for the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series. Very early caution here tonight has got these truck drivers back to a crawl pace. Truck light still on. Should get the one to go this time around, and we'll get set to fire things back off. Here tonight from Iowa Speedway, just a little bit less than a 1 mile oval, but it races like it is a half a mile. Very bumpy up around the top side, especially through 1 and 2. 3 and 4 a little bit more manageable on that high side, but still very bumpy. This track was modeled after Richmond International Raceway, so it races similar to Richmond, but the banking is slightly different. The way you've got to drive into the corners is slightly different from Richmond, but this track modeled after Richmond International Raceway, and we had ourselves one heck of a race at Richmond International Raceway here in the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series. So look for tonight's SNC Transport 160 here from Iowa Speedway. Look for this one to be a barn burner as well. There you see the contact marks left on that outside wall after the 10 of Chris Claude and his Toyota Tundra made contact with that outside. The safer barrier looks like pace car lights have went out. We're set to go back green flag racing this time around. Field will get double file, and we'll get set to fire this thing back on off. Once again, race fans, early slow to tonight's action. Still a long way to go here tonight. Upwards of 153 laps remaining here. A lot of time left in stage number 1. Gonna come to a close on the end of lap number 40. Stage number 2 ends completion of lap number 80, but we're working our way back off of turn number 4 to come back under green. Chevy Silverado pace truck down and away on the loud pedal. Green flag flies as Craig Burns jumps to an early start in the restart box. He's gonna gap Alexander Encarnacio back in that 94 machine. We'll keep an eye on this as Encarnacio gets a great run off of turn number 2, closes the gap, closes the distance on Craig Burns. Now they work their way off of turn 4, high side. Once again, crossing the stripe, put that lap in the hands of Craig Burns. He'll continue to lead the field, and he drops back to the bottom through 1 and 2, and that looks like big time run for Encarnacio. Looks like that 94 just cuts through the center of 1 and 2 a little bit better down there on the bottom side of the track. Encarnacio gonna make the pass, utilizes a little bit of a slide job. here at Iowa Speedway, and just a couple states over, there were some slide jobs going on all day long down there for the Chili Bowl Nationals. Big time shout out to Young Money Kyle Larson walking away with the Golden Driller tonight at the Chili Bowl Nationals. So big time shout out to Kyle Larson, a heck of a race driver, and man, he wheeled the lights out of that dirt midget that he was in today. But wheeling the wheels off of his truck right now, the 94 of Alexander Encarnacio has reassumed the race lead and has stepped away from Craig Burns. Now enjoys a half a second race advantage over Burns, who's got Hendry closing in. Justin Hendry right there in the third spot in the 28 truck has his UPS Ford F-150 dialed in and heading towards the front of the field. Craig Burns right there struggling at the top, almost contact with that right rear quarter coming off of turn number 4 back to the stripe. Burns may be struggling a little bit here early in this green flag run. We'll take a look at some of the battles going on behind in just a brief moment. Try to let this one play on out for another lap or two. Then we'll check in with a few other drivers out there on track. Do want to mention our biggest mover of the race, Trevor Massetti. Man, on a mission right now, up 8 spots from where he started tonight's race. Massetti started all the way back there in 16th, and he has found a way to make it inside the top 10 in the 8th position, and running down Steve Crabell and Michael Sheffield for the 6th and 7th spot on track. So we'll jump back here as Massetti closes in on Crabell off of turn number 4. The 3 is dialed in. Remember, race fans, back in qualifying, that 3 of Trevor Massetti spun not once but twice in his qualifying effort. Elected to just go to the garage, handle some things underneath the truck, and it looks like the changes that were made were the right changes, because that 3 has moved halfway up through the field, knocking on the door of taking away the 7th spot from Steve Crabell as we continue green flag racing here at Iowa Speedway. Lap number 17 of 160 scheduled in tonight's official race distance. Looking around the speedway, there you see another battle, highly contested spot on track. Austin Encarnacio, he's got Stephen Baldwin Jr. lined up just behind him, and Baldwin looking for a way around, drops his 59 Toyota Tundra to the bottom of the track, washes up through the center a little bit. Austin squeeze play off of turn number 4, drag race to the line, no clear cut winner for the position just yet. Now Austin trying to make the run on the bottom. Looks like he's going to have a little bit of advantage, but Austin's going to pull even off of turn 2 and down the backstretch. Still side by side, this battle for the 4th and 5th spot on track continues to rage on. Austin Encarnacio now prevailing on the high side. Gonna drop back to the bottom, try to set his sights in on Justin Hendry. Hendry still breathing down the rear deck lid of Craig Burns just in front of him, right at about a 1/10 of a so away from taking that spot. And there you see that UPS Ford F-150 excuse me, trying to make his way around Craig Burns. Burns still holding tightly to that 2nd spot, but the man at the front of the field has set sail. Austin Encarnacio, 2.7 second race advantage, and we begin lap number 22. Justin Hendry gonna make the pass, finally get clear of that 2 of Craig Burns, and here comes Austin Encarnacio as well. So we've got another Three-car battle here for second, third, fourth on the track, and Burns is into the outside wall. Burns into the outside wall on the entry of turn number 3. He's going to drop another 2 spots, fall back to the 5th position on track. Michael Sheffield just 8/10 back. Trevor Massetti another 1.2 seconds back from Sheffield, so it looks like Burns will be able to recover, be able to stop the downward spiral, be able to recollect himself in slot in the 5th spot. Now going to look to go up there and snatch that spot back away from Stephen Baldwin Jr. These two drivers were battling for that second position for a while. Burns with some trouble. Now Justin Hendry up in the 2nd spot. He's got to deal with Austin Encarnacio just behind him. Looking for some more battles on track. Tell you what, let's go back to this one back here. Chad B. Singer, Jeff Garson, Chris Claude all grouped together right here. Jerry Culver in that 13 machine just in front of B. Singer, trying to keep him behind him. Drops down to the bottom in 3 and 4. Gonna slide up to the top of the track on exit. There you see that very familiar slide job motion through 3 and 4. What a lot of these truck drivers like to utilize as much track as they can through 3 and 4, but when you start getting side by side, you start getting racy. Not always able to use all of the track, and now you see that 23 struggling as he entered turn number 3 a little bit too high, and that has given a little bit more of an advantage to that 13 piloted by Jerry Culver. He's got his Chevy Silverado dialed in, trying to run down Ryan Ezell for the last spot inside your top 10. Battle still raging at the front of the field. 3-truck battle. Off of turn number 2, Austin Encarnacio has the 2nd spot. Stephen Baldwin Jr. and Justin Hendry battling now for the 3rd spot. Up the track just a little bit goes Baldwin Jr. Hendry gonna drop the spot as Baldwin Jr. slid right across the nose of that 28 machine to take that 3rd spot away. And Burns struggling some more. Burns almost into the outside wall off of turn number 2. Burns struggling right now, falling from grace. Started outside pole, had control of the race for a handful of laps. Now in danger of falling outside of the top 5. The one of Michael Sheffield looking to take that spot away. Drag race down the backstretch into turn number 3. And Burns gonna fall to the wayside. Put Burns back now into the 6th position, as Michael Sheffield looking to skate away. And there you see Trevor Massetti in the 3 machine. He's closed the distance. He wants in on this battle as well. Massetti continues on the track now, trying to look to the inside, almost into that outside wall off of turn number 4. And just like that, race fans, don't blink an eye. We've got 9 laps remaining here in stage number 1. Lap 32 underway. Stage 1 going to come to a close at the completion of lap number 40 here tonight. And Craig Burns back into the wall once again for the 2nd time here in stage number 1. Burns going to lose yet another spot. Drop the 6th position to Trevor Massetti, who is now up 10 spots from where he started tonight's race. And don't count Burns out yet. He hasn't given up the fight, but not going to be able to keep Massetti behind him. Burns now scored back in the 7th spot, 5 positions from where he started tonight's race. So one of the truck drivers out there on track that is going to be looking forward to seeing this The stage break caution here in the next handful of laps. 6 laps now remaining in stage number 1. And this man right here has walked away with it. Driver at the front of the field. Driver out of Encarnacio Racing. Owner, driver, Alexander Encarnacio has got that 94 dialed in tonight. Walked away with the pole position. Right now has the fastest lap on track. Also has the most laps led so far here tonight. And gonna pad his pocket a little bit more with a stage win. Encarnacio is stacking those playoff points week in and week out as he continues this great run here tonight. Gap 5.9 seconds for Encarnacio. Now over 6-second advantage for Encarnacio. Smooth sailing to the end of stage number 1 for the driver inside of that 94 truck. Gonna jump back once again with a battle here as Trevor Massetti starts to try to battle with Michael Sheffield. That is a battle for the 5th spot on track. Craig Burns, he's in danger of losing yet another position. Jerry Hutchinson, he's found a way by Burns, and Burns continues his fall. As Burns continues his fall through the field, the 3 of Trevor Massetti going the opposite way. Massetti now up 11 spots from where he started tonight's race and put him into the final spot inside the top 5. Just 2 laps remaining here in stage number 1. Can Massetti somehow make it from 16th to 5th? All within 40 laps. Now final lap here in stage number 1. Alexander Encarnacio still enjoying a 6-second race advantage, but not going away. Sheffield battling back on the inside. Drag race down the backstretch for the final spot in the top 5. Looks like Massetti has the advantage. He'll run the high side. Here comes Sheffield on the bottom. Not gonna get there in time. Trevor Massetti gonna snatch away the 5th position. And it looks like staying green flag for the moment. Now, caution flag flying to bring stage number 1 to an end. Man at the front walking away with the stage win here tonight. Driver that sat on the pole. Driver with the fastest lap of the race so far here tonight at Iowa Speedway. Fast and up front, the 94 of Alexander Encarnacio walks away with the stage win. Pit road is not open. Red lights down there on pit road. And it looks like they did switch over to green just in time for Austin Encarnacio to bring the entire field down pit road. Looks like one driver gonna try to stay out, try to pick up some bonus points for leading a lap. Bob Williams looks to stay out, capitalize on the stage end. There you see the 14 staying out. Gonna take over the race lead. Hill more than likely pit next time around. We'll have to see how all that goes, how all that shakes out. But for the moment, we're going to step away for a brief commercial break. We'll be right back with all your green flag action here from Iowa Speedway.
North Carolina, where the field is rolling out for the start of today's 400-lap race on this .625-mile racetrack. Here's the starting lineup. On the pole from Dawsonville, Georgia, in the number 9 Coors Ford qualifying and third Winston Cup race from North Wilkesboro is underway. Everybody nicely through turns number 1 and 2 as Bill Elliott has the lead and Dale Earnhardt has jumped into second position, followed by Benny Parsons and Bobby Allison.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Backtrack side as promised, race fans. Field. Double file back behind the Chevy Silverado pace truck were set to fire things off once again here from Iowa Speedway in the SNC Transport 160 for Wallbangers Racing Truck Series race number 10. Season number 1. Will your stage 1 winner Alexander Encarnacio be able to scoot away from the field on this restart? We'll have to wait to find out. Chevy Silverado pace truck gonna duck off this time by. Alexander hits the gas. Green flag flies once again here from Iowa Speedways. 2 and 3 wide almost for the second spot. Massetti has come from the rear of the field up to second. What a big run here in the race for Massetti. My goodness, he has that biggest mover in hand. Oh my goodness, almost into that outside wall there. Massetti with a big time gain here tonight, up 14 spots from where he started tonight's race, all the way back in the 16th position. That's right, race fans, only 17 trucks were able to make the start tonight, so he was almost tail end of the field. Shotgun Sally, and he has found a way to get that 3 truck back through the field and up at the front. Bob Williams back here stayed out a lap under caution, received a bonus point for leading a lap. Now Williams looks to try to make his way back up to the pack. Back at the front, though, hot and heavy action on the track. There you can see 2-3 trucks involved. The 12 of Jerry Hutchinson, Michael Sheffield right there, Steve Kerpel, as well as Brandon Regal. All these drivers battling for 5th all the way back to, I believe that is 8th right there with Brandon Regal. Chad Biesinger just behind them. Jeff Carson in the 9 Toyota Tundra slotting in the final spot in your top 10 as we work our way around the track on lap number 50 out of the 160 scheduled in tonight's official race distance in the SNC Transport 160. And while we have some time, while we've got a moment, why don't we give you something you love, something we love? Let's mute the mics for just a brief moment. Head down the trackside for one of my favorite times of the race. Let's head down trackside for some sights and sounds with our Turn It Up. final shot there in our Turn It Up high above this beautiful lit up raceway here Saturday night short track under the lights here at Iowa Speedway for the Wallbangers Racing SNC Transport 160. We'll head back down trackside now as this field continues. Green flag racing. There you see Jeff Carson, driver inside of that number 9 Toyota Tundra, trying to close in on Chad Biesinger and Steve Crapell just in front of them, knocking on the door of a top 5. But we've got a battle for the second spot. Austin Encarnacio looking to take the second spot away from Justin Hendry. Trevor Massetti falling from second, now back to fourth. As this is your closest battle on track, your tightest battle involving 3 trucks. We'll jump back here in just a brief moment at another battle raging on between Craig Burns, Steve Crapell, and Jeff Carson. That's for 7th, 8th, and 9th. Burns able to make the pass now, take the 8th spot away from Crapell. Encarnacio Racing fired up here tonight in America's Heartland for the SNC Transport 160. Both of their drivers in the top 2 spots on the track. Alexander Encarnacio in control of the race, 3.8 second advantage over Austin Encarnacio right there in the 99 machine. Just behind him, Justin Hendry trying to corral his truck, had a little bit of a moment there in 1 and 2, but Massetti could not capitalize as he is still stuck right behind him. There you see him making their way around the 14 of Bob Williams, being scored the first car off of the lead lap. First car 1 lap down. Gonna head through the field, see if we can't see any more battles out there on track. Here you have another battle raging on. Jeff Carson trying to keep his number 9 truck just in front of Craig Burns. Burns does have Garrett Davis. There you see Davis off in the background battling with Steve Crapell. That's a spot. The spot on track, 9th and 10th right there. Jerry Culver, driver of the 13, right there. That G.I. Joe 13 Chevy Silverado, trying to work his way up inside the top 10 as we work our way around the track here on lap number 67 out of the 160 scheduled in the official race distance, and we are down under 15 to go here in stage number 2. Race fans, that's right, stage number 2 coming to a close at the completion of lap number 80. Then all these truck drivers will hit the reset button, get themselves a protein bar, maybe a drink of water, and get ready to go back at it for about 75 laps or so once we get back under green flag racing after the end of stage number 2. And we are closing in on that right now, lap number 69 out of the 160 scheduled in tonight's official race distance. 1 attempt at a green-white checkered should we need it, but with the way it looks here tonight after that very early caution on lap number 1, we have been green and clean since the restart. Clean and green from the restart of stage number 2 as well. So these truck drivers doing a fantastic job out there. We'll jump back to this battle at the front between Trevor Massetti and Justin Hendry. Massetti trying to make his way back up inside the podium positions. Can he pull it off? Can the 3 truck make it work on the bottom? Ford against Chevy as we cross the line to begin lap number 71. Massetti not going to be able to get there just yet. He's going to have to reevaluate, reload, and try it all over again. We'll look back now at this battle as Jeff Carson begins to heat up the 2, being piloted by Craig Burns. Burns out there on that high side, the 3rd lane, up there next to that outside safer barrier. And Jeff Carson not quite able to get that 9 truck turned quite the way that he wants that Wild West. Carrier number 9 not getting through the center of the corner quite as well as he may like at this point in time. So Carson's going to continue to try to heat up that 2, try to force a mistake late here in stage number 2. That battle for the 2nd position, it's starting to heat up just a little bit. There you can see Massetti has brought Justin Hendry back to the tail end of Austin Encarnacio. So your top spots have not been decided here at the end of stage number 2, but one position that has been decided. Man at the front continuing to dominate here tonight at Iowa Speedway in the SNC Transport 160. Your pole sitter, your stage 1 winner driver inside that 94 machine, Alexander Encarnacio. And Stephen Baldwin Jr., he's having some trouble now. Super loose right in front of your race leader, almost into the outside wall. Burns has fallen from grace. He was up there battling for a position in the top 3. Now Burns struggling to try to keep himself on the lead lap. Lucky enough for him, should he fall off the lead lap, the stage caution right around the corner. We'll be able to utilize that. That may very well just be the saving grace for Stephen Baldwin Jr. at this point in time. Now being shown 1 lap down as your race leader just gets by. Big time wiggle off of turn number 2 out of that 59 machine. So trying to stay in touch, trying to stay in tow to keep himself the first car 1 lap down. Stephen Baldwin Jr. doing all he can to stay with Alexander Encarnacio. 3 laps now remaining in stage number 2, and looking to maybe complete the sweep here this weekend at Iowa Speedway in the SNC Transport 160 for the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series. Popsicle sticks for the stage in the 94 of Alexander Encarnacio makes his way around the track. Nobody around, and Baldwin Jr. hard into the wall. Back to your race leader coming off of turn number 4. White flag in stage number 2. Now in the air just one more time through turn number 2. For the driver inside that 94 machine, Alexander Encarnacio getting the job done back into turn 3. Should be a smooth sail back to the stripe to complete the stage. Gonna jump back now as stage number 2 is done and in the books for your leader, Alexander Encarnacio. Trevor Massetti was able to step away from Justin Hendry. Hendry gonna slot across the line in the 3rd position to end stage number 2. Austin Encarnacio, Michael Sheffield to round out your top 5, and there you have it. Caution on the speedway. Stage number 2 now in the books, and this man right here looking for the clean sweep of the race weekend. The 94 of Alexander Encarnacio captured the pole position, captured the flag in stage number 1, capturing the flag in stage number 2. Just one more flag left to capture for the driver inside the 94. Can Alexander get it done? Gonna bring the field to pit road this time by. So with that said, race fans, we're going to step away once again for a brief commercial break, then head back trackside for all your green flag action here from Iowa Speedway in the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series SNC Transport 160. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The field is rolling on the back straightaway.
Get ready. This is going to be tight. Out of turn 4, ladies and gentlemen. The All-American 400 is underway.
Got to be careful. The bumps here can get you every time. Entering the corner, exiting the corner.
Back trackside as promised. Field double file as the Chevy Silverado pace truck lights are off. We're set to fire things off in our third and final stage of the evening. Long run to the end of tonight's race. Lap 87 out of the 160 scheduled to start here when we cross the line. Pace truck ducks off. Encarnacio on the gas. Green flag flies once again here at Iowa Speedway for the Wallbangers Racing SNC Transport 160. There you see Encarnacio looking to try to get off to another fast start, but Massetti not letting him go. Massetti looks to the outside. Massetti looking for the race lead on the outside, not going to be able to get there. Now looking for a crossover, not going to pan out. Encarnacio's going to keep the lead of the racing. Caution flag flies. Caution on the raceway. Steve Kerpel may have been involved in this one. We'll take a look back here, see what happened. Kerpel gets sideways, nowhere to go, right in front of Culver. The 9 spins as well. Have to see how bad the race damage is on the front end of that 13 machine, and doesn't look like substantial damage on that Toyota, on that G.I. Joe Chevy Silverado. So caution flag flies very early to begin our final stage here tonight, and it looks like both of those truck drivers, Capel as well as Culver, gonna peel off and head to pit road this time by. So field comes to a crawl, waiting for that Chevy Silverado pace truck once again. Looking forward and looking down the road, these drivers head to another very difficult, very tricky track next week. Worldwide Technology Raceway, that's right, Gateway on tap next Saturday night under the lights for the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series. Much bigger of a track, but the driving style, especially for turns number 1, can be very similar. Got to be on the binders while you're turning down and into the corner. Very familiar braking pattern to not just this raceway, but multiple different short tracks throughout the schedule here in season number 1 for the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series. So look for this to be maybe a gauge on how things will run next week. Alexander Encarnacio, to no surprise, at the front of the field, but Trevor Massetti putting the field on notice. Up there running in the second spot, gonna line up just outside of your race leader for the restart of tonight's race. Fourth caution so far here tonight. 2 of those cautions have been official stage-ending cautions. Very early caution here tonight when we started tonight's race on lap number 1. So a very familiar look here at the beginning of stage number 3, our final stage of the night. Very quick caution. Will we see another long green flag run? Drivers still yet to run these fuel cells dry, so still trying to keep a gauge on just how long these drivers are going to be able to run here on this tank of gas. Will they need the tires before the gas, or will we see possibly some 2-tire stops late in the goings here at Iowa? We'll have to wait and see how it all unfolds as the Chevy Silverado pace truck brings the field back into turn number 3. We should see those lights go out this time by. And as we do find ourselves with a slowdown in the action, might as well run down a little bit of house cleaning for you here tonight. 18 drivers took to tonight's race. 17 able to make it to the starting grid. David Hall not able to get the machine out there for tonight's starting grid to start tonight's SNC Transport 160. We've still got 17 drivers on the track. 15 drivers still on the lead lap. Bob Williams being scored, the last car on the lead lap. So the 14 machine heading the right direction. Williams was scored a lap down earlier in tonight's race. Making his way now back up through the field is Williams, but now your race leader, Alexander Encarnacio, has got to get off to another good jump. Massetti right there with him on the gas. Green flag flies, and it looked like Massetti may have got a little bit of an early jump. We'll have to wait and see if he gives the position back. Yes, he does. Having to give the spot back, gave it back for a moment. Now looking for a crossover. Back down to turn number 3. Here comes that 3 Massetti hunting the front. Encarnacio sideways at a 4. Alexander Encarnacio sideways off of turn number 4. Truck snappy loose there on corner exit, and Encarnacio able to save it, but not able to save the spot. He'll drop from first to third, just in a 1 corner. Michael Sheffield right there being scored in the 4th spot. We've got a side-by-side truck battle just behind this. Ryan Izell as well as Chad Biesinger. There you see Austin Encarnacio as well as Justin Hendry. That's a 5-car battle right now on track. 5th all the way back to 10th, and driver slow on the track. Brandon Regal has had some issues, and his truck has seen some better days, smoking down there on the apron, and Regal bringing his truck back to pit lane just as soon as he can. Well down on power, only 70 miles an hour right now out there on the track, looking for the entry of pit road. He's going to bring his Chevy Silverado to pit road for service. That is going to put Regal well behind here tonight as we continue green flag racing. Lap number 98 now underway out of the 160 scheduled in tonight's official race distance. Back up front, though, new race leader a handful of laps ago. Trevor Massetti was able to capitalize on Alexander Encarnacio getting sideways. Encarnacio dropped 2 spots. He has since been able to reclaim one of them, make his way up and around Craig Burns, who has fallen back about a 1 second from Encarnacio. Regal down to pit road, hit the reset, and he's got himself a fresh truck. But if he finds any more trouble here tonight, that will do in his day. He's also going to have much fresher tires than the drivers that he's around on track now, as all of these drivers last on to pit road on lap number 82. Regal just a handful of laps ago came to pit road, so he's got about 12 lap fresher tires, and that it should make for some big time gains as long as Regal can keep his machine fired up and heading in the right direction. Regal still being scored 4 laps down, so he's going to need quite a bit of help if he's going to want to break inside the top 15 and maybe possibly have a shot at a top 10 here tonight. We'll continue to watch how the rest of his night goes here tonight. The one of Michael Sheffield right there running in the 4th spot, looking to chase down Craig Burns. Burns continues to have a little bit of struggles here and there, but still continues to run in the 3rd and final podium spot of the night. Can Burns make it back-to-back podium race weekends? We'll have to wait and see how all that unfolds. Lap 103 out of 160 now underway in the scheduled official race distance. And back at the front, look at this, after getting super loosened sideways out of turn number 4 a handful of laps ago. Here comes Austin Encarnacio. Drag race down the backstretch with your race leader, Trevor Massetti. And Encarnacio looking to take the top spot back away. He does so through the center of 3 and 4. New race leader back at the front. Alexander Encarnacio takes control of the race lead once again here on lap 105. And look for Encarnacio to try to skate away from Massetti. Both of these drivers opening up a big time gap over the rest of the field. Craig Burns back here. There you see Burns. He's embroiled in a battle with Michael Sheffield. Justin Hendry is in tow. Austin Encarnacio as well as Chad Biesinger all right here closing the distance. Oh my goodness. Encarnacio, Austin almost into that outside wall, and looks like Stephen Baldwin Jr. may have had some contact with the outside wall. Looking back, and there you see Baldwin Jr. down on pit road, and that is indeed going to bring us under caution here. We'll take a look back, see what the caution was, and there you see the 59 stuck to that inside wall. Stephen Baldwin Jr.'s night has went from bad to worse. Race leader Alexander Encarnacio slow on the track, waiting for the Chevy Silverado base truck. There you see it off in the distance now, coming up to pick up your race leader, the field in tow. Few drivers electing to come to pit road. Craig Burns comes to pit road. Jerry Culver to pit road. We'll keep an eye on it, see if these drivers come to pit road this time by while we step away for another brief commercial break. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. in back trackside as the green flag has already flown after our latest caution on track. The 94 of Alexander Encarnacio elected to stay out on track. Justin Hendry as well as the Austin Encarnacio all staying out on track. Multiple other drivers all headed down to pit road. Rest of the field pretty much behind them, all with 4 fresh Goodyear tires. Steve Crapell, only other driver to stay out on track. And oh, it looks like we got another caution here tonight. The 69 of Garrett Davis looks like he may have been involved. And oh my, it looks like Jerry Culver sitting down there in the infield. That is not going to vote well for his night. We'll take a look back, see what happened here. Oh, and the 69 hard into the outside wall. Looks like he gets in. The 13 gets into the 69. Oh, and there's Culver sideways. The 69 gets caught up. Back up across the track. They try to get it woed up, and there's the impact. There's what ended the night for the 13 of Culver, and there you see him down on pit road. That is going to put a damper on the day for sure for the 13 of Jerry Culver here in tonight's SNC Transport 160 for the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series, live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Your top 3 drivers all last to pit road on lap number 82. All 3 elect to stay out on the track under our latest caution. Caution number 6 of the evening for the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series SNC Transport 160. Alexander Encarnacio has been at the front of the field pretty much the entire night. Lost the race lead for a handful of laps on 2 separate occasions, but was able to reclaim the race lead. Your pole sitter has led the most laps here tonight, and he's only got to lead another 10 or so laps, and he will secure the points for that most laps led award here tonight. So Encarnacio still looking for the clean sweep here at Iowa Speedway in race number 10. Season number 1 for the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series, live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. If you haven't already, race fans, throw these drivers a thumbs up, click subscribe, smash the bell over there on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Whether it's myself, Darkside, Dave of the Cave, or anybody else back at the Turn 3 Racing headquarters, we do appreciate each and every one of you each and every time you stop by, whether you're just a casual viewer stopping by, stopping through, or if you're the dedicated friend, family, or fan. We appreciate each and every one of you each and every time you stop by with us here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. So as I've already said, go ahead and click the button, smash the bell, and like the bejesus out of this thing through. Show these drivers out there on track that you appreciate all the great racing action they provide to you each week in and a week out here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Tonight's S&C Transport 160 has been a barn burner. First two stages in the books. Man at the front of the field, Austin Encarnacio led both of those stages, walked away with the bonus points there. He's going to pad that already fat pocket of bonus points for playoff points, and he is looking to increase his point advantage, leaving tonight's race here at Iowa Speedway. Still a very long way to go before we will find out if he can make the clean sweep or not. Chevy Silverado pace truck ready to duck off this time by. There it makes the left-hand turn, and on the loud pedal, green flag flies. Once again here at Iowa Speedway, looking to the outside is Burns on Hendry. Not going to make it there. Austin Encarnacio battling 3 wide there with Justin Hendry and Trevor Massetti almost 4 wide down the backstretch. 3 wide again through 3 and 4. We were almost 4 trucks wide at Iowa Speedway. Oh my goodness, not sure if that would have ever worked out, but somehow these drivers sorted it out. Got down to 3 wide, now side by side, nose to tail for the second spot. The 99 of Austin Encarnacio trying to keep Trevor Massetti at bay. Massetti looks to the bottom side of the track. He's going to have the pass at the line. Preferred position heading down into turn 1 and 2. Austin Encarnacio all over the rear deck lid. Not able to make the pass back. Here comes Hendry. Hendry looking to take over the third spot. And still, I just cannot, I can't emphasize enough the great run that the driver inside of that 3 machine. There you see him, focus on your screen on him, up 14 spots from where he started tonight's race. And I know what some of you may think out there, 14 spots, that's not that much, but when there's only 17 drivers on the starting grid and you've made up 14 spots, well, that's a lot. Back through the field, battles going on, still raging on after this latest restart. There you see Craig Burns on the outside. He's got Jerry Hutchinson, Jeff Carson, Steve Crapell all closing in on him, and Burns struggling right now. Late in the goings, lap 124 out of the 160 scheduled in tonight's official race distance now underway. Carson looks like he may be slowing some of the drivers down behind him. There you see that 9 machine. He's got Chad Biesinger, Ryan Izell, Garrett Davis, Steve Crapell, all of those drivers right behind him for position. Chris Claude right there in the 10 machine, driver that brought out our first caution here tonight at Iowa Speedway. You see him, he is in line, but he is being shown multiple laps down here tonight. 18 laps behind the 8 ball, being shown in the 17th spot. Jerry Culver and Bob Williams still down on pit road. And that's why you don't just call it a night, race fans. Chris Claude has the opportunity to possibly pick up 2 more spots here tonight. It all depends on how much more damage has got to be fixed on that 13 and 14 truck. Will Williams or Culver be able to get back out on track and keep their spot in the running order? We'll have to wait and see how it all unfolds, but look at this back at the front. Massetti has not gone away. Lap 128 now on the board, and Trevor Massetti inside of that 3 truck is looking for the top spot. He's only got 1 more position to go before he can say he went from the back to the front. And well, he's done it once already tonight. Ken Massetti put the 3 machine back to the front of the field. He is heating up that rear deck lid of Austin Encarnacion. And I tell you what, race fans, why don't we go down on board with the driver of that 3 machine? Let's go down to one of our onboard cameras now with the driver inside that 3 truck, Trevor Massetti. Riding on board with the driver of the 3 machine, Trevor Massetti, as he tries to close in the distance on your race leader, tries to take that top spot away. There you can see him working hard inside his Chevy Silverado, trying to bring that 3 up and into the top spot. We'll jump back to our trackside camera. There you can see that 3 right there hounding Encarnacion, just trying to see if he can make him make a mistake. But Encarnacion has been almost flawless all race long. We'll have to see if he can continue this pace, if he can continue to keep the 3 of Massetti behind him. Now working lap 133 off of turn number 4. Going to cross the line, begin lap 134 out of the 160 scheduled in tonight's official race distance. And I do believe Alexander Encarnacion, he's still going to have to come to pit road. Austin Encarnacion also going to have to come to pit road. It is still up in the air on whether or not Trevor Massetti can make it to the end on fuel or not. Just 26 laps remaining here tonight in the SNC Transport 160. Massetti last on the pit road on lap 108. Can he get to the end on fuel? We'll throw the pit strategy graphics up for you here this time by as we begin to click these laps off. There you see the stints driven so far by these drivers. Encarnacion on those tires for 53 laps. Now coming to the end of tonight's race, and he's still got some tires in his back pocket down there in the pits. Is he hoping to see a caution flag fly late? There you see Trevor Massetti onto pit road just 28 laps ago. So much fresher tires for that 3 truck, but still not able to take command of the race late in the going. The drivers make their way off of turn number 4 back across the stripe. 23 laps now remaining here in this short track Saturday night under the lights action. Race number 10 in season number 1 for the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series. You are watching the SNC Transport 160. Alexander Encarnacion beginning to step away a little bit from Trevor Massetti. And I wonder if that's saving a little bit of fuel, and if Encarnacion can stretch this thing out for another 22 laps, he will have been on the same set of tires for upwards of 70 laps. That is an amazing feat all in itself. We'll have to see if he stays on those Goodyear tires or if he brings his Chevy Silverado down to pit road for 4 tires and a fuel. And as all this unfolds at the front, jumping back to the back of the pack. I say back of the pack, but this is 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th all over each other, all under a blanket, working their way around the speedway. Jerry Hutchinson right there. Jeff Carson in a battle with Austin Encarnacio. They've got Chris Claude right there in the mix right here, duking it out with these drivers on the lead lap. Garrett Davis, there you see him in that 69 machine just behind them. Contact, slight contact there between the 69 and the 59. Very close action all over the speedway now between multiple different little packs of cars. Jeff Carson, there you see him, driver inside of that 9 machine. He's going to try to set sail and set his sights in on the tail end of the 12, being piloted by Jerry Hutchinson, knocking on the door of a podium spot. We'll jump here with Hutchinson in just a moment as we continue to watch this battle unfold between Austin Encarnacio and Garrett Davis. Davis all over him right now. And Chad Biesinger right there trying to make the pass on Jeff Carson. The 9 stuck to the high side. Down to the bottom goes the 23. He's going to have the opportunity for the slide job. Going to go up the track. Yes, well and clear. No crossover. Not close enough. Carson gonna lose the spot. Carson gonna fall to 6. Back at the front of this field, Alexander Encarnacio has stepped back away to a 1.7 second race advantage over Trevor Massetti. Michael Sheffield right there in third. Fourth place, Jerry Hutchinson and Chad Biesinger, man on screen right there in the 23 machine, has got his Toyota Tundra sitting in the last spot inside the top 5. He is under heavy fire from Jeff Carson. Just behind them, still a heavy battle going on. That's between Garrett Davis, Austin Encarnacio, Ryan Ezell. Just a little bit behind, a little bit off pace, but still doing well up inside your top 10 and rounding out your top 10 as they run on track with under 15 to go. The UPS driven 28 of Justin Hendry. Talk about a tale of 2 races. That Ford F-150 of Craig Burns, he was at the front of the field battling for the race lead at the beginning of tonight's race, and now he is battling just to try to crack into the top 10. Side-by-side battle just in front of them. Ryan Ezell with Austin Encarnacio. That's a battle for 8th and 9th on track. And car into the outside wall. We stay green flag. Austin Encarnacio has pounded that outside wall. The 99 gonna drop outside of the top 10. Now back to the 12th spot. He's gonna have to try to limp this 99 home to a solid finish. Was up inside the top 10. Now back in the 12th position. From one Encarnacio to the other, from one end of the field to the other. Brother Alexander Encarnacio at the front of the field leading tonight's race has a 1.8 second advantage, and he is going to stay out with some very old tires and somehow step away from the field with at least 30 lap older tires than the drivers around him. Alexander Encarnacio has now seen under 10 to go here at Iowa Speedway in the SNC Transport 160. Back off of turn number 4 once again, crossing the stripe. 8 laps now remaining here tonight. Gonna jump back to another battle. There you see it on screen. Chad Biesinger has stepped away just a little bit over Jeff Carson. Carson right there has Garrett Davis just behind him. Driver in that 59 machine, Stephen Baldwin Jr. being scored off of the lead lap, so it's the next truck in the line. That 69 of Garrett Davis. Can he get back to Carson? Can Carson get his way back by that 23 of Biesinger and take a top 5 spot away here tonight? That will go very well in the points for Carson if he can get the job done, but right now seems to be struggling with a little bit of the handling, as we are now down to just 6 laps to go for this man at the front of the field. Off of turn number 4. High five for your race leader. 5 laps to go. All Alexander Encarnacio has been up front almost all race long. Quickest time in happy hour, walking away with the pole position. Looks like he's got, well, quick time here in the race here tonight for the SNC Transport 160. He's walked away with 2 stage wins as well, and just 4 laps remaining for Alexander Encarnacio to make the clean sweep here tonight at Iowa Speedway. And barring any catastrophic failure, looks like he's going to be able to, and he's sideways off of turn 4. Going to have to keep our eye on that. 3 laps now remaining for Encarnacio to put this one in the bag. We'll jump back with this battle between Jerry Hutchinson and Michael Sheffield. This is a battle for the final spot on the podium. Third place, highly contested, as Popsicle 6 being shown to your race leader. 2 laps now remaining. Which one of these drivers is gonna wheel their way into a podium spot? Sheffield looking for a crossover. Not gonna be there. Not gonna get it. Gonna go back up front. White flag. Final time around the track for your race leader, driver of the 94, Alexander Encarnacio, into 1 and off of turn 2 down the back stretch for the final time here tonight. Headed off back into turn number 3. Almost puts his brother down yet another lap, and gonna do so off of 4. Checkered flag in hand, your race winner, Alexander Encarnacio. Back to this battle, and looks like Jerry Hutchinson gonna prevail. He'll walk away with the final spot in the podium here tonight for the SNC Transport 160. What a race it was, race fans. Alexander Encarnacio completes the clean sweep here tonight at Iowa Speedway, and as he enjoys some of his post-race celebration, burning down the tires on that 94 truck, we're going to get things set and ready to go for our post-race interview, so don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. Back trackside, ready for your post-race interviews here tonight. Let's see if we can't catch a quick word or two in with the driver that walked away in the final podium spot here tonight. Walking away in third place, Jerry Hutchinson. It's Dave in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you, Dave. How you doing?
Doing good, my man. How about yourself after a good, solid podium finish here at Iowa?
Yeah, man, feeling pretty good about it. I'm honestly kind of surprised. Iowa's not really one of my better tracks, but ended up getting on a pretty good tire strategy and finishing up pretty well for the team.
Walk us through those final handful of laps coming to the end of tonight's race. You and the one machine, Michael Sheffield, you guys were battling pretty hot and heavy there towards the end of tonight's race. Did you think you had enough underneath the hood of that truck to get the job done?
Honestly, I thought fourth was probably going to be as good as we could get. Michael came up on a lap car, and that allowed me to close. And once I got there, my truck was just handling really well on the bottom. I was able to get past him and make it stick.
Well, man, a great, solid finish for you here tonight at Iowa. Last week we were at Michigan, a very different layout, a very different style of racing at Michigan as opposed to here at Iowa. We head off to another very different track, a little bit bigger than Iowa. We head off to Worldwide Technology Raceway Gateway next week. How are you and the 12 crew looking at what's coming up, not just next week, but in the next few weeks?
Yeah, so pretty rough stretch of tracks coming up. We got Gateway, which I'm not particularly good at. Then I think we have a little break for the All-Star Week. And then we come with the road course, which I'm honestly not a big road ace there. So looking to be a tough couple of weeks, but nothing I think we can't handle, and hopefully we'll get a good setup put in and be able to drive it up near the front again.
Well, Jerry, man, I mean, it's been a pleasure watching you come through the field here tonight. You started a little bit further back than most of the drivers. You made up 9 spots to make your way onto a podium spot and finish in the 3rd position here tonight. So congratulations and hats off with that accomplishment. We look forward to catching up with you throughout the rest of the season. So before we let you go, you want to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody on the side of that truck?
Yeah, man. Got to give a big shout out to the teammates and the 16 crew of Brandon and the 14 crew of Bob. Also want to give a big shout out to the parents at home that watch these races every week and really cheer me on and support this thing. So thanks to all those guys and gals, and can't wait to be back in the podium room pretty soon.
All right, Mr. Hutchinson. Well, we wish you the best, and we look to catch up with you next week at Gateway.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for everything you do.
There you have it. Few final parting words from the driver walking away in the 3rd position here tonight. That was driver of the 12 truck, Jerry Hutchinson, and that's going to lead us into the man that walked away in 2nd, Trevor Massetti. It's Dave in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Hey, Trevor, man, what a finish for you. You came from almost last to finish almost 1st. You can't be too upset about a solid 2nd place here tonight.
Yeah, no, truck felt good all night. I obviously lost it in qualifying, so I didn't get a lap there, but it worked out in the end. I stayed out of the way of everyone that lost it, and strategy at the end didn't work out the way we thought it would, but it got us to 2nd and I think 4th place, so it's a good night.
Good night indeed. You made up 14 spots from where you started tonight's race. A good solid finish like that has got to do leaps and bounds for the confidence level. Not just that, but there for a good bit in this last little run, you were right there breathing down the neck of the race leader. How much confidence does a good solid finish like tonight do for you moving forward to Gateway, then the All-Star race, and then a road course coming up? How much does this boost your self-confidence going into the next few weeks?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely helps. I was sticking with him for a little bit, but then I tried to start saving, and it felt like I was saving too much, and then I realized that he was just pulling away from me. But yeah, it definitely helps with my confidence going into next week, and hopefully we can get the setup right like we did this week and maybe get another win.
Well, Trevor, it was an absolute blast to watch you out there on track tonight. Make your way up through the field, battle for the top spot there for a brief moment. You stole it and had the race lead there for a brief moment throughout tonight, but just unfortunately not able to keep it. But still, as I said, congratulations on a solid 2nd place finish here tonight. Before we let you go, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody on the side of that truck?
Yeah, I want to thank Sheffield for helping me out and teaching me a lot through all this, and Steve for putting on the league and all the admins that help out, and everyone for making this thing possible.
All right, Trevor, my man. Well, we do appreciate you taking some few final moments to talk to us here before leaving the raceway. Until we see you again, maybe next week, stay safe, and we'll catch up with you later on in the season.
That's good.
There you have it. Final parting words from the driver walking away from the track in 2nd place here tonight. That was the 3 of Trevor Massetti. And we'll get to the familiar face, the familiar voice, the familiar man at the front of the field yet again at the end of another one of these Wallbanger Racing Truck Series races. Alexander Encarnacio, if we were playing Capture the Flag, I'm picking you first. My man, heck of a job out there tonight. Fastest in qualifying, walked away with the pole. Walked away with the fastest lap of the race, the most laps led, stage win 1, stage number 2 win, race win. Do you play bingo? Because you're probably going to win that.
I don't know. A lot more than that goes into it.
Man, that truck looked hooked up out there tonight a few times. You got a little sideways on the corner exit. Was the truck set up to fall that way, to fall more towards the loose side as the run went on?
No, it was mainly a truck that if you were, had finesse and you were gentle, it's not gonna get loose. If you run the right line, it's not gonna get out of shape. But you have to run those lines, and it's fast running those lines. But a lot of those times I got loose. I didn't arc enough into the corner. I kind of dive bombed the corner, and then I was on the throttle too soon, so the rear end just wanted to spin around. A few times though, it was scary. There was one time I think with like 12 to go where I almost lost it.
That you did. You came off of turn 4 and got pretty out of shape. You were able to corral it and keep it headed in the right direction, able to keep the race lead. Were you ever in doubt there after that final caution that maybe you should have came to pit road, maybe you should have got some fresh tires? You were on those tires, my man, for about 70 laps. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, the last set that I won on, when that caution came out, about 15 laps passed, and that's when Trevor, Michael, Craig, they all pitted. And I was comfortable. I thought I was gonna get, if it went green, probably like a third place finish. But we fired off. I still had an extra set, so I wanted to save it just in case. I didn't want to use my last set that early. I fired off, and it went really well. I did some lap times, and it was like my second fastest lap time, and I was like, okay, we're looking good. And then Trevor started catching me, and he got to about like 0.3 seconds behind me, and I was getting real nervous. I'm gonna be honest. he was getting to me fast, and then he just started slowly fading to the back, and as he fell back more and more, I was thinking, I might have this. I know Austin and Justin were hoping for a caution as well, because they were on the same strategy as me. But once they got into that dirty air and all the traffic, a bunch of lapped cars tonight were not courteous at all. Once they got into all that, they fell way back. So it sucks for them because they definitely had two really fast trucks. Austin's truck was identical to mine.
Well, man, again, a dominant performance out there for you all night long here at Iowa Speedway. Looking forward to next week at Gateway. A little bit different of a layout, but still a very technical track as far as getting on the brakes and getting the truck woed up and into the corners. Is there anything you can take away from tonight's race and maybe use next week at Gateway?
Yeah, I mean, I've never done a lap at Gateway. I still have to buy it. So I'm hoping my Iowa setup will work at Gateway. I like Pocono a lot. I like Darlington. Those are tracks with, 2 different corners, 3 different corners. So I feel like I'll like Gateway, but I have to buy it. I'm probably going to buy it, honestly, like tomorrow and put some laps on it. Make a setup. So hopefully I'll be fast, but I couldn't tell you right now.
Well, at least you're honest about it, my man. Again, walking away with the race win here tonight, so congratulations yet again. I believe that makes it 6 on the season for you now, Alexander. So if you continue this, we're just going to go ahead at about, another 6 or 7 races and just pull you in the booth for 5 or 6 and see if we can't close this gap back on down. But with all that being said, man, congratulations once again on a very dominant performance here tonight in the SNC Transport 160. Before we let you go and celebrate the night away, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous? Thank anybody on the side of that truck.
Just thank you to Steve, Craig, Trevor, Kyle, all the guys who run this league. It's a ton of fun. It's the only iRacing I do, so it gets my fix. Enough. These races are perfect. It's everyone that we race with, for the most part, are all cool guys. So I'm thankful for all of them. And shout out to my girlfriend Lexus. I love you.
All right, my man. Well, until next time, stay safe, and man, I don't know that it gets much better for you. There you go. Final words from a very humble race winner here tonight, Alexander Encarnacio. Absolutely dominating the race here tonight, but still very cautious about looking too far ahead here in the rest of the season for the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series. Man, what a night it was here tonight at Iowa Speedway for the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series, race number 10 out of the 25 scheduled in season number 1. And just like that, the night has come to a close for us here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Producers starting that music in the background, so you know what that means. Race fans, will run down your unofficial race results for tonight's SNC Transport 160. Walking away in victory lane for the 6th time this season, driver of the 94 truck, Alexander Encarnacio. Finishing in second after a great run tonight, the 3 of Trevor Massetti, followed by the 12 of Jerry Hutchinson, rounding out your podium tonight. 4th place goes to the 1 of Michael Sheffield. Jeff Carson gonna slot home in 5th. 6th place goes to Chad Biesinger. And Garrett Davis gonna slot home in 7th. 8th place goes to Steve Crapell. 9th, Craig Burns. The 28 of Justin Hendry gonna round out your top 10 tonight. Ryan Azell gonna bring his 5 machine home in the 11th spot. 12th goes to Austin Encarnacio, driver of the 36 machine. Brandon Regal gonna slide home in the 13th spot. Stephen Baldwin Jr. walking away in 14th. 15th goes to the 10 of Chris Claude. Finishing 16th in tonight's SNC Transport 160, Bob Williams. After late race trouble, walking away from the track here tonight in the 17th position, driver of the 13 machine, Jerry Culver. Rounding out the field for tonight's SNC Transport 160, driver of the 998, David Hall, unable to make it to the starting grid here tonight, so he will finish in the 18th and final spot here tonight from Iowa Speedway. Man, oh man, what another one it was. Whew. If you haven't already, race fans, throw these drivers a thumbs up, click subscribe, smash the bell over there on the right-hand side, get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Whether it's myself, Darkside Dave in the Cave, or anybody else back at the Turn 3 headquarters, we do appreciate each and every one of you for stopping by each and every time you do. Whether you're the casual stopper buyer, the fan, the friend, or the family, we appreciate each and every one of you, because without you, there is no us. New day, new year, but let's stay safe, stay loved. Until next time, my friends, we'll meet you in Turn 3.